Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Talk College Football. This is our rapid reaction from week 0. So let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is Jack State and UTEP. I told you guys this would be a close game, a hard-fought game. That's what it was. Wasn't a big scoring game or anything. Of course, Jack State kind of got lucky in that interception by Jeremiah Harris. He kind of sealed the deal there for them, but it was big. I thought that's better than blowouts, right? At least it's your team, then you don't mind that there's a blowout. I'll watch my team if they're up 56-0. I'll watch it to the end just because I'm a fan of my team. But outside of that, as a fan of college football, I want to see hard-fought games. I want to see close games. I want to see it come down to the wire, last man with the ball. That LSU-Alabama game last year where LSU decided to go for the two-point conversion and the win, that was good. That was extreme. That's the kind of football we want to watch, right? Close games like that. Hard-fought games when it came down to Georgia, Ohio State in the playoffs, or Michigan and Illinois. That was a good game as well. Just hard-fought battles. And we didn't get a whole lot of that last night in week 0. But one I will talk about is Hawaii and Vanderbilt. I said I liked Hawaii. I'm sad for what happened to them. And I keep them in my prayers, and I hope everybody else does too. And I'm rooting for Hawaii. I'm actually rooting for Hawaii. I think what happened over there is just absolutely terrible. But Vanderbilt hosting Hawaii, and their college ain't even fully done. The whole field is just a disaster. I mean, it's horrible, right? And so SEC team brings in Hawaii. It's supposed to be a beatdown, right? And that didn't happen. Hawaii is just, they have passion. They have pride. And they have fight in them. Absolute fight in them. And I thought that was the best game to watch all night in week 0. I thought the Hawaii Vanderbilt game was absolutely phenomenal. Hawaii, I thought, could have won that game. Vanderbilt was able to keep ahead and do their thing. But I thought Hawaii was in it. They never did I feel like Hawaii didn't have a chance. You know, it just wasn't supposed to have a chance. But they ended up losing 28-35. But I'll be telling you right now, this is a stronger and closer game than what it looked like. So Vanderbilt was able to go up 14-7 in the first. Then it was 7-7 in the second, and 0-7 Vandy into the third, and then 14 points answered in the fourth by Hawaii. But Vanderbilt got that 7 points that allowed them to win. But I can tell you right now, I like Hawaii's chances this year. And being and winning 6+ games. I think they can win 6 games. And I think that because of this game. Because it's the SEC, right? If you're going to say the SEC is the greatest conference in college football, and a team comes out there in the SEC country and shows up like Hawaii did, you got to think that this is a pretty good program. You got to think that this is a really good team that has a lot of fight. I hope that this built their confidence and didn't crush it, because they should be confident. Now, do I think Hawaii can come out there and play against every Power 5 team or 90% of the Power 5 teams and win? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being out there, being a competitive team, continue to do this fight, continue to have the pride for Hawaii, play for the people who are hurting right now, and continue to win. And I hope they win at least 6 games and be bowl eligible. That's my hope for Hawaii. So now let's look at the other 2 games that we talked about. And let's go to Notre Dame first. The first quarter in Notre Dame versus Navy, I thought, wow, it's raining. This is going to be a running slugfest. Navy was able to move the ball pretty well in the first quarter. I thought they did a great job moving the ball. I'm not a big triple option guy. I honestly cannot stand triple option in college football. I don't know why they can't seem to design a better offense than that in Navy to be able to compete more. They can barely throw the ball. I think they tried like 7 passes, right? I think they got 3 receptions out of 7. I mean, who's scared of that? Load the box. Load the box. I didn't take long for Notre Dame's coaches to adjust to this game. Let's just say that. It was raining out. There was going to be a great chance of a run game breaking out. And on top of that, there's no threat of a pass game from Navy. So we're not going to sit there and say like the defensive backs and everything. The whole backfield of Notre Dame showed us that they're dominant. There just wasn't that much information to say that. But I will say this. I thought Notre Dame was pretty darn dominant in this game, and I learned a little bit about them. I think they're 100% better than last year. I thought they got better as the year went on, but the little bit of differences that they made, like Sam Hartman, made such a big impact. I can see it, and I know everybody's saying, well, this is just one game, and I'm not saying that. But you can see things. You can see how they believe in Sam Hartman. You can see the changes that he made was so impactful. I can feel a different vibe in this team. This is a dangerous team. That Week 4 matchup against Ohio State is going to rock the house. That's going to be a good matchup. It's not going to be one-sided. Now, I'm going to pick Ohio State. Just a news flash. I will pick Ohio State to win that. That's my team. But I do think Ohio State's just better. I think they have a lot more weapons. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Notre Dame's coming to fight. They're going to wear that awful all green colors. They're at home. I think this crowd's excited about this team. I think Sam has got this team with their confidence up. I think they have a dangerous running game, and I think they proved that in this game. Matter of fact, let's just look at some of this stuff. I mean, look at all the different people who scored touchdowns. Estime, running back, scored a touchdown. Price scored a touchdown, running back. Greenhouse scored 2 touchdowns. The freshman wide receiver, who's not even a wide receiver, came out there, scored 2 touchdowns. Thomas scored a touchdown. Colsey scored a touchdown, another wide receiver. It was beautiful the way that they ran this offense. And a lot of people's like, what about this? Well, listen, I'm not big on a tremendous amount of people running, but they did run it. They ran 5 different running backs in this. I mean, you've seen Estime, you've seen Payne, you've seen Price, you've seen Love, you've seen Ford, all running the ball in the rain, which is probably smart. You don't want your top running backs getting hurt, so to give them breaks and to bring some of these other guys out while you're up, I think is smart. You know, you see injuries is a part of college football, and you need to have guys ready and everything like that. And on top of that, you allowed these guys to play in Ireland. So I think that's just something they'll always remember. Let's just break down a little bit here as well. So Sam Hartman, 19 of 23 for 251 yards, 10.9 yards average, and 4 touchdowns. He was poised, he was confident, he was accurate, and he ran the team like a captain should run the team. I think he played better at Notre Dame in this first game than I've seen him play the whole time he was at Wake Forest. This guy has a lot of experience. He's not going to be rattled. He's not. And this is what makes him dangerous. Because they actually do have really good wide receivers. They have really good running backs. And I felt like this offensive line showed up today and made holes to say that this offensive line has grown to be better than what it was last year. And I know it's week 0, one game. I'm not jumping over and saying that these guys will be the best, most dominant team ever. No, I'm not saying that. But you've seen things, right? You can't just take away what you've seen. You've seen things differently than what you've seen last year, playing against opponents of similarity. So I don't know. I was really big on Sam Hartman. I thought he did great. Estime got 16 attempts for 95 yards, 5.9 yards an average, and a touchdown. That's the number 1 running back right there. I think you're going to see him take more carries, but if they can keep him between the 15-16 mark, you can keep those legs nice and good for the whole season because you have other running backs. I think Payne's a solid number 2 running back. I like Payne. And now Price got the touchdown, and Price got a little bit of love as well. But I like Payne as the number 2 running back and Price as the number 3. I can see all of those guys getting some action in the game. Because I do believe, as good as Sam Hartman is and as good as wide receivers that these guys got, they're young. So there still needs to be a learning curve against these wide receivers when they play a higher graded defensive backfield. You know, they wasn't really contested that much in this game. But I do think this run game could be dominant enough to allow the play action, to allow these wide receivers to get some one-on-one looks. So I like it. I like the way that this went. And I really think Greathouse came out as a true freshman wide receiver and made his name. He made his name. And he said, look, I need playing time. I deserve playing time. I got 2 touchdowns. And you say, well, it might have been against just somebody. But Merriweather, who I'm huge at, 6'4" wide receiver, big body, big target, I think he struggled a little bit. And they opened up the passing game to other people. Colsey, I thought he did a great job as well to come out there to show that he deserves playing time. I don't know. I just really, really, really like this young wide receiver group, and I think they have something to show for. Thomas, I think showed up well. He got 4 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. Like I said, Greathouse got 3 for 68 and 2 touchdowns. Colsey 3 for 45 and a touchdown. 5 running backs ran for 191 yards total at 6 yards a carry average and 2 touchdowns. So this run game was really strong. Defense got 2 sacks and a forced fumble. You always like to hear that. I'm not going to say too much about the defense on the passing game because there just really wasn't a passing game to go off of. But I thought the offensive line opened up well. I thought the defensive line was able to they finally tackle well, but I think it kind of helped. They just struggled a little bit on the run stop. I think it kind of helps when you don't have a passing team to be able to load the box and make that adjustment. So we'll see whenever this defense has to play an air-raided spread offense, how they react before we get too much on the defensive side. But I'm really excited about the offense of Notre Dame. I think people need to buy in stock on that. So let's get to the next game. San Jose State versus USC. USC, number 6 team in the country. Projected to win the Big 12, the Pac-12 and play for the playoffs. I said on my show, on the last episode on the show, that I was worried about their defense. Lincoln Riley always has great offenses, doesn't always have great defenses. Matter of fact, never has great defenses. I think that was their kryptonite last year. They lost against Utah both times, and it was because of their defense. It wasn't because of a Heisman Trophy quarterback. It was because they had no defense. All these transfers coming in, how are they going to look against San Jose State? Not good. Let's just break down some of these San Jose State stats. The quarterback, 21 for 38, 198 yards, 5.3 yards average, 3 touchdowns. Plus, he ran it for a touchdown. Sound like that defense couldn't stop him at all. Running back, Conley, 6 attempts for 109 yards. Just 6 attempts to break that 100-yard mark, 18.2 yards at average. 5 different running backs in this. The team got 198 total yards of rushing at 7.3 yards average and a touchdown. That doesn't sound like a good defense. Not a good run stop defense for sure. So let's go to the passing game. Wide receiver, Nash was the best wide receiver I thought on the game. On their team. 8 targets. He got 6 out of those 8 for 89 yards, 14.8 average for 3 touchdowns. The team wide receivers came in for 21 out of 35. For 198 yards, 9.4 yards an average, 3 touchdowns. Defense also got 2 sacks on the offense. I looked at those stats and told me that was against USC, San Jose State versus USC, I would have been shocked. There ain't no way that this team just put nearly 400 yards of offense against USC, the number 6 team in the country. There's no way. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There is a way. This defense is definitely a concern. I am not being able to buy in on this stock because of this defense. I have them pretty high. In my top 25. But I told you I was starting to worry about this defense. And I didn't know if I was going to sell stock. Buy more stock in Washington. The only thing that helped them is the fact Washington lost their starting running back for the season. So I did not jump the gun too early, and I'm not going to now. This is just week 0. We're going to allow a little bit more time to go to see if this team starts to gel on the defensive side. We know this is going to be one of the top offenses, probably a top 5 offense in the country, if not better. But the defense has to be complementary to it. If the defense can't step up and work with the offense, I don't see this team being more than a top, maybe 10, maybe 8 at the highest, maybe less. If Washington has a running back who can step up and this defense plays like that, Washington's going to put points up. And then you're going to have a showdown. So who goes out there and plays? We all already know what happened to Utah and them last year, USC and Utah. They had a defense that was able to make some stops and an offense who can stay up. And guess what? USC lost. I can see this against Oregon. I can see it against Washington. I can see a fight in Utah if Rising's good. This defense has to get better, or I'm selling stock. I'm telling you what, I was 100% stock sold, 100% stock that they would win the Pac-12. I sold some. I'm at 70% now. I'm not at 100. I'm at 70. I don't know. Rapid fire, rapid reaction. Only week 0, guys, and I'm already doing this. Well, let's look at the offense, though. This is why I'm not jumping the gun too bad. And I'm not just selling my stocks, all right? I'm going to sell 20% of my stocks, all right? I'm going to go to 80, right? And then I'm going to take 10%, and I'm going to hold them to the side. And I'm looking for the right buyer. Let's just say that. So I got 70 because I'm already looking to deal 10. But I can grab that 10 back if I start seeing something different. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because of this offense. So look at Caleb Williams, 18 to 25, 278 yards, 11.1 yards per average, 4 touchdowns. That's really good. They had running backs Jones, Lloyd, and Joyner just killing it. But they had 8 different runners if you include the running back. I think that's too much. That's too much. And I don't want to hear, oh, they did it because it wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't at halftime. It was a really close game, right? It was a really close game at halftime. So he had all these different guys running. Quarterback went out there, did his thing. You know, we're going to expect him to run. He's a dual threat quarterback. But for the team, they had 34 attempts of 160 yards, 4.7 yards of average, and 3 touchdowns. So San Jose State had a better average per run. They had more yards from the running group. And I don't know. I honestly think this offense is not bad because of that running thing. I think they need to cut how many people they allow run. I think they need to let their best running backs, maybe first 2. You can even throw 3. I don't even mind Jones, Lloyd, and Joyner. I just don't think you need more than that if you already have a quarterback who runs. And I think you could have even got better traction on the run game from there. 13 different people to receive the ball in the passing game. That's a lot. There was a lot of different touches on there. Now, this also includes the time where the backups come in and everything like that. So we don't need to get too carried away with that. But altogether, 34 targets, 24 receptions. They only dropped 10, 341 yards, 14.2 yards average, 4 touchdowns. The longest was a 76-yard play where the quarterback decided to fumble the ball, pick it up, and throw it to Washington, where then he ran it in for a touchdown, for a 76-yard touchdown. Absolutely great. This quarterback is poised. He's calm. He's a defending Heisman Trophy winner quarterback. So, I like the run game. I love the quarterback play. They got great wide receivers. I don't think you need 13 different people to touch the ball. But then again, a lot of people, it looked like they were getting a lot of people everywhere. And the defense did get a sack, but the defense allowed that, like I said, 396 yards offense. I'm not real big on their defense. Branch was able to get a 96-yard kick return for a touchdown to allow the special teams to be put on the note. So I think they're good in 2 out of the 3 aspects of football. Matter of fact, if you want to add the coaches in there, 3 out of the 4. The defense still ain't there, so I'm not bought all the way in. Number 6 team, I don't think so. I think they need to be dropped down just a little bit after this. But that's just my thought, and this is why we call it rapid reaction. When I break down this film a little bit more deeper, I might have different thoughts about it, but not right now. I don't. Right now, I'm high on Notre Dame. I'm a little less on USC, but who knows? If this defense just gets a 50% better, this is going to be a dangerous team because their offense is absolutely dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. Well, that's our Rapid Reaction Sunday. We're going to have a show coming up for week 1. We have games coming on Thursday as well as Saturday. I mean, we have games starting. College football is here. So get excited. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, please subscribe. We're trying to reach our first goal of 500 on each. I can only do that with you guys. Please comment. Please comment what you think about the Rapid Reaction. This is something you're going to want after each week. Comment about the games. Do you think that USC is number 6? Do you think that they're going to go to the playoffs this year? And listen, it's okay that it's too early to know. That's what makes this fun. That the fact that it's too early. This is why we do these preseason things. This is why we do week 0 conversations. And you're going to do this throughout the season. We're going to find out where we were right and where we were wrong each and every single week. And every team has the ability to prove us right and wrong every single time they hit the field. So that's on them, not on us. Thank you for watching, and can't wait till next time. Thank you, and God bless.